Guys, I truly believe now is the best time ever to be a One Piece manga reader. Chapter 189 just came out and it just further elongates all of the chaos we've been seeing for the past dozen or so chapters. Plus, doesn't it feel like forever since we last saw the Straw Hat Pirates? In this video, we will be doing a swift explanation of everything that happens in this week's chapter. Now, the final panel of the previous chapter had the narrator stating that tomorrow's newspaper will report the return of Captain Kobe, the unknown fate of GARP, and the siege barricading incident at Egghead Island. The first couple of panels on this chapter takes us to the good old Foosha Village in the East Blue. Everyone's freaking out about GARP and how he is essentially missing in action on Pirate Island Hashinosu. Whoop Slap reassures them that there is nothing to worry about, and that GARP is a living legend after all. Someone laughs at his statement, which makes him sort of lash out, but it was just Makino's child. Makino says that everyone is on edge because of the GARP situation, and she also mentions how her baby has started recognizing Luffy as well because of all of the posters and pictures of him all over the place. Her son loves Luffy. Right next to this panel, we see Dadan crying over whatever is going on with GARP and Luffy, but right then, at that very moment, everyone in East Blue starts experiencing an earthquake. But it's not just East Blue. South Blue, West Blue, North Blue, and even the Grand Line. There was no earthquake in recorded history that matches the one felt on this day. We see the Guerrilla Company, Momonosuke, the prisoners from Impel Down, Hina and her marine soldiers. Everyone in the entire world experiences the shaking in some capacity or another. Not even the celestial dragons could ignore the earthquakes. Looks like the narrator wasn't kidding when he talked about the incident that shakes the entire world. But what is the cause and the implications of these earthquakes that have enveloped the entire world? Well, from what the narrator tells us, no one knew about the source of the earthquakes, and obviously, since there's no internet in the One Piece world, no one truly understands the geological significance either. Lucky for us, the narrator takes us to the source and shows us exactly what's going on. About 6 days ago, Imo erased the Luluze Kingdom from history. Well, right now, there is nothing left but a massive hole. It's a hole similar to the one we saw at Enies Lobby. The narrator then mentions that earthquakes caused by global sea levels to rise by approximately 1 meter. As a result, many coastlines were lost beneath the waves, and many islands were submerged entirely. Now, it's interesting how Oda went with a 1 meter rise in sea levels because the same thing may happen in the future of our world as well. So what if that happened in our world? Well, according to a recent study in 2019, 230 million people currently live by the coast and are less than 1 meter above the sea. This means that at the very least, close to 230 million people would be displaced. But unlike our real world, the One Piece world is mostly composed of islands, so in a very real sense, the consequences are going to be much more severe. And of course, we see random people ditching their islands because now there are sharks in their house. Well, at least in Foosha Village, there is someone optimistic enough to think about going fishing in a situation like this. Anyways, before we move on to the second half of the chapter, something I found interesting is how the narrator talked about how no earthquake in recorded history matches the magnitude of the one felt in the present. Recorded is the key word here. Anything that happened in the Void Century has been erased from history. So I guess it's safe to say that something similar also happened 800 years ago. That explains the hole in Enies Lobby as well as the unnatural climate of the One Piece world. Moving on to the second section of the chapter, Egghead has been surrounded by a massive military force. There are over 100 ships, of which 20 of them are warships, and speaking of the numbers of the Marine, we're talking about a grand total of 30,000. The ones in charge of such force include 9 Vice Admirals and Admiral Kizaru, not to mention J. Gracia Satin from the 5 Elders. The Nomi Marines are trying to fend off against the weaponized sea beasts, but Sentomaru doesn't like it. They're valuable creations after all. There's then Mushi communication between Uncle Kizaru and Sentomaru. Kizaru asks him to come out and surrender, but then again, it's not that simple, is it? Vegapunk is like a family to him. He reminds Kizaru of back when Grandpa Punk based the pacifistas lasers off of the research he did on his powers. We have a short, one tiny panel of Kizaru, Sentomaru, and Vegapunk. It's bittersweet to say the least because Kizaru remains unhinged. He's a corporate slave after all. He can't protect Vegapunk from what's coming now that he's chosen to research the Void Century. But then again, anything that happens is going to be a net loss for the Marines. Kizaru also assumes that Rob Lucci and the others must have failed to carry out the assassination mission, to which Sentomaru replies that yes, and it's thanks to the Straw Hats. In the following panel, we see Saturn telling the Vice Admiral to make sure that no one knows he's here. He's inside a warship, eating a sausage and appreciating the headline of Morgan's new article. The Straw Hats storm Egghead to take Vegapunk hostage. He then asks about the situation, to which Vice Admiral Doberman explains their situation. They haven't received any reports from Cyberpole Zero. Of course they haven't. He assumes that Dr. Vegapunk and his 7 satellites are in the Lombo Stratum along with the 4 Seraphim who were allegedly assigned to protect them. But with the way things are, Vegapunk must have joined forces with the Straw Hat Pirates. He then talks about Lucci, Stussy, Kaku, and other agents and states that they must have been captured by Sentomaru and his battalion of Mark III Pacifista. He also mentions that because the Frontier Dome is currently at 100%, nobody can get in and out of the Lebo Stratum. But then again, they have no way of knowing what must have happened in the last day or so. Saturn asks about the researchers and other workers. Vice Admiral replies that they evacuated yesterday, but the Marines have tracked and confirmed their positions. Saturn tells him to sink them immediately as they might know something. Finally, Vice Admiral Doberman mentions Jewelry, who is also on the island. She's Kuma's daughter. Saturn replies that they no longer have any use for her, but surprisingly, he tells the Vice Admiral that they can just leave her be. As these conversations are going on, the Marines pick up a transmission for a long-range call. Adenden Mushi rings in Marijo, and we see the other 4 elders getting in touch with whoever is on the other side. Kizaru can also listen in thanks to the black transponder still on his arm. Saturn can listen too. Who is our caller? It's York. She's upset because they're going to kill her too, even though she went out of her way to tell them about Stella's betrayal. Ma says that she's also a Vegapunk, and she replies that if she had any interest in the Void Century, she wouldn't have snitched like she did. The Glasses guy tells her that she did good to survive this long, and asks her about Cyberpole and what happened to the Straw Hats. She brazenly states that she has the Seraphim under her control and that's how she survived the night. But something is fishy. Her answer is like dodging the real question. She asks about the fleet and if they are also going to kill her. Lucky for her, Shepherd Jew Peter has a change of heart. He asks her if she is capable of replicating Mother Flame all by herself. As we know, it is the weapon Emo used to nuke Luluzia Kingdom out of existence. York is all game. The power station she needs is already there. So she asks them to not lay a finger on her laboratory and also reminds them of her desire to be a celestial dragon. The elders go along with it, which brings us to the final panel of this chapter. There's that classic save me scene of York asking them to save her because Straw Hat Luffy is here and he's going to kill her. So she asks them to please come and crush these psychos. The 5 elders and Kizaru were left stunned. As it turns out, our gang has already taken care of York. Frankie and Usopp are no longer petrified. Vegapunk has been freed as well. While Nami talks about how everything is coming into focus, Luffy has no idea what's going on. He's stuffing his face and all he knows is that they are going to use York as a shield to get away. The situation couldn't have been more under control. Everyone is chilling and having food. This is it, guys. This is how Emperor's crew is supposed to be acting in the face of a military force that far outclasses the Buster Call. Zoro has a sword in York while Usopp is the one holding the transmitter. Rob Lucci is also standing in the background acting like he's part of the team. We don't know where Nico Robin is though, so I wonder where she's at, but it's so honestly satisfying to see the crew together again, laid back and smug. Let me know what you guys think of this chapter though. There's a break next week, so I'm afraid we have to wait a little bit more to see how this situation plays out. Let's talk about it in the comment section down below. If you like this video and you don't want to miss out on future One Piece chapter reviews like this one, as well as other types of One Piece content, subscribe and hit that bell notification button. One Piece may be in its endgame now, but we still have a few years left to enjoy every chapter to its fullest.